Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Sparkman Homestead. My name is Krista. We just got back from our vacation and it is raining outside. I have to go and do a huge harvest out of my garden. I have not been here for 6 days. I checked it briefly last night, but we got home and it was really dark out. So I wasn't able to really assess a lot of stuff. From what I was able to see, I have a lot of dead stuff back there and a lot of tomatoes that are ripe. We had a huge thunderstorm come through last night and it is still, I don't know if you can tell, but it's still drizzling out here. So I need to get in the back and get some stuff harvested so that we can get back on track with this every bit counts challenge and get some of this stuff preserved. But it's kind of raining out here, so I don't know how much we're going to get done this morning, but I need to get out here and get my animal chores done. We actually are very blessed, and we had a neighbor that was able to come and take care of our chickens and turkeys while we were away, and just kind of keep an eye on the house because he is immediately beside us. I'm going to go and kind of top up the animals' feed, make sure their water is good, and then we will go. Hopefully this rain will stop so I can take you guys with me, but we're going to go and harvest a whole bunch of stuff from our garden, and we're going to get in that kitchen today and get it all, or starting the process of getting it preserved. Okay, we got the animal chores all done, so what we're going to do is we're going to go and pick the wheelbarrow up because we have so much to pick. I was just over there giving the turkeys water and I noticed that a whole bunch of cantaloupes completely rotted. So I think while we were gone, we actually had a little bit of animal pressure. My soybeans look like they had deers come and chew them. Normally the deers don't ever come up to my garden, but I think because we were gone for so many days, they didn't really see people activity here and thought it was okay to come up. So we'll go and take a look and assess all of the soybeans and see if we have any to harvest. Okay, so we have the wheelbarrow now. Let's go back and take, sorry, turkeys. They are definitely happy to see me again. So like I was saying, we had a really bad thunderstorm last night, and I don't know if you can see all of the water that's pooling up. This corn, that's another thing that's got to get picked today. I'm not sure if it's necessarily ready, but it looks like it's really starting to die back. So we're going to pick that. We have some insane okras right there that we've got to get picked. These are not really usable because they have been on here for too many days. Like that's going to be really woody and stocky. Whole bunch of okra is just gone to waste. One thing that I have found about homesteading and having a garden in the summertime is that you really have to have a good support network in order to be able to leave your homestead for a vacation. Like, I really wish that I had somebody that was coming and kind of harvesting this stuff, because a lot of it is going to go to the animals or go to waste or in my compost because it's just completely overgrown. Like, you should see some of the zucchinis. So this is the soybean damage. Like, all of the leaves, maybe that's Japanese beetles and not deer, because it's just all of the top parts of the leaves are chewed off. But we have some good soybeans and edamame beans in here, so we're going to pick those today also. I love when you can see things like that spider web right in here. So awesome. The shishitos are looking loaded, so we need to get those picked. Got some orange peppers in there, we'll get those picked. We got lots of peppers back here. Can't pick them yet because they're not ripe. Oh, I think we have one we can pick. So I think what we'll do is we will start with the tomatoes. We'll get those harvested. I am probably today going to actually turn those into tomato juice because some of them are probably split, and I am just going to be putting them in a wheelbarrow. So let's go and get those harvested first. Actually, before we harvest them, I just wanted to show you, this is my squash and pumpkins. It is completely dead. The squash bugs have completely overtaken them, but I have a whole bunch of like spaghetti squashes in here and butternut squash that we need to get picked, and then a couple melons just kind of hidden. So I said tomatoes, but I'm getting distracted with the damage here. Let's go and look at the tomatoes. Oh, you can see we've got quite a bit of blight on these. which is normal because of the humidity and the rain and me being gone. So we've got lots of tomatoes we gotta get harvested. Got lots of rotted tomatoes also. Those will just, I'll make a pile for the turkeys. So ideally you should not be picking tomatoes when it is raining because these are going to be really watered down. But I have to get these picked now because they have been on here for so long and I need to get them kind of harvested because look at, bugs are starting to get at them. You kind of either have to sacrifice your garden if you don't have somebody watching it, or you have to sacrifice having time away on a vacation. I mean, it was a really nice break for me being able to get to Florida and kind of going and vacationing a bit, but it's like I now have to sacrifice a whole bunch of tomatoes, so it's bittersweet. So the zucchini plants have finally died. That one and that one are done. So I'm going to pull them out, and I may potentially put another couple seeds down just so that we have some fresh eating zucchinis in the fall. I don't need to preserve anymore. I just kind of want to have them as fresh eating for the fall months. I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm kind of getting a slight bit overwhelmed back here. There's just so much dead stuff. Like my Kajari melons, this looks like it's got major Japanese beetle. There was a couple of Kajari melons that were ripened, but they were completely chewed apart by either raccoons or mice or something. So I'm just kind of getting a touch bit sad back here. I mean, I'm harvesting a lot of stuff, but it's kind of sad. So I'm just gonna be thankful for what I have and just move on. I guess that's what we'll do. So this is my Malabar spinach here. I don't think we're gonna harvest this today because I can kind of wait. I'm just gonna get it to go back up here. I'm gonna wait probably until tomorrow to harvest this. Today I kind of want to focus on like the stuff that really has to get preserved, like the tomatoes. So far I've given the turkeys about 10 tomatoes that have completely split because they were like the size of my hand. But they had split from the rain that we got yesterday and while we were gone. So I think today that's going to be our focus, is just kind of getting the stuff off that is laying on the ground that really needs to get harvested today. And then maybe tomorrow I'll come out and kind of putter around with stuff that's just kind of dying that I need to get cleared out. Look at this cantaloupe. It's so fun. It completely grew into the trellis. I don't know how I'm going to harvest that. I'm debating whether I'm going to pull this plant or not. As you can see, it's really damaged. These are our ground cherries that are volunteers. Look at, I left them there and they are completely taking over the island or the walkway. But it's hard to show you guys on camera, but these plants are at least 10 feet tall, these tomato plants. It is really a jungle in here. So I'm just kind of going along, getting the spider webs out of the way, pulling off the really bad leaves. This is another one that split really bad. So like I said, I'm gonna try to get these guys in the roaster oven. The tomatoes are just falling off as we speak. I'm gonna get these guys in the roaster oven as soon as we get in, and then tomato sauce. I kind of want to make like a V8 juice. I've never made it before. In fact, I've never actually canned tomato juice before. So I'm thinking that that's what I want to do with those guys. And I am picking some that are kind of on the green side. I'm trying to talk around my turkeys. I don't know what's freaking them out. But I'm going to try to pick some that are like half done, and then we'll just leave them sit on the table inside to ripen up a bit. So this is all of the harvest that we've got so far today. It actually started raining, so I had to turn the camera off because I didn't want it to get wrecked. So I didn't finish doing the harvesting with you guys, but I want to show you everything that we actually got today. This is all of it. There is still a lot of stuff outside that I'm kind of just letting get a little bit more ripe. These are all the tomatoes. That is some jalapenos and green beans. I pulled the turnips, which I should have pulled a long time ago. So those are probably going to be a little tough, but we'll use them in stews and stuff as a replacement for potatoes. And then we have some really overgrown cucumbers. These cucumbers are not a pickling cucumber, so it is fine that they are this size. They are actually supposed to be this size. These are a tasty green cucumber. These are kind of like a salad, just fresh eating cucumber. Really, really like them. The plants have done really, really well for me. And I tasted one today because I thought maybe they would get a little bitter with the heat, but they actually don't taste that bitter. So I'm excited about that. Now, because I have harvested quite a bit of them already, I know I said in my garden tour that I wasn't going to be making pickles this year because I definitely made enough last year for 2 years worth. But being that we have so many cucumbers and we are honestly not going to fresh eat all of these, I might do a little batch of maybe like a bread and butter pickle this year instead of like a dill pickle, because I actually don't have any bread and butter pickles, so we might do that. These guys are really, really cute. These are the sweet dumpling squash. These ones are from M.I. Gardner, and they are supposed to be this size. They're supposed to be like a butternut squash, but only sweeter. So my thought with those is to actually take them and cut them in half, haul them out a little bit, and kind of make like a stuffed squash with them. So I may be doing that next week. We have quite a bit of cantaloupes in here, and some of these cantaloupes, they've got splits on them because they fell when we were gone, and then I just went and picked them up. So I need to try to find a way to preserve these cantaloupes. And then we have some of the leftover cannelloni beans. I just pulled those plants because I'm getting ready to put some fall stuff in that bed. And then we have black beans right there, so we need to shell those. This is a nice big bucket of edamame beans or soybeans. So I'm gonna just blanch those up and get them in the freezer. And this is an amazing basket. These are shishito peppers. Well, it's a mix. I have a red pepper there. These are some cayennes, and then the rest is shishito. So I left the corn today because like I said earlier in the video, I'm just feeling overwhelmed with the garden. There's just so much stuff that needs to be harvested and so much stuff that honestly died just in that last week. Like, it's crazy that 6 days can really, if you're not on top of a garden in the height of producing, it can die. So the corn, half of it got eaten by raccoons, half of it got eaten by worms, and then some of it's good. And for something, like there's some type of disease on the corn. I don't know what it is. It's like causing the corn stalks to rot. I've never seen that before. So tomorrow is going to be the day that I pull all of that corn, and whatever isn't good, whatever didn't pollinate correctly, I'm just going to end up giving to the chickens. And then tomorrow we will just can up whatever corn we bring in. I didn't want to harvest it today because, again, that feeling of being overwhelmed, plus the fact that corn really needs to get processed the day that you bring it in, just so that it can have its like maximum sweetness, because it is a sweet corn. That's going to be tomorrow's project. I think what we're going to do is I need to get some of these tomatoes in the roaster oven because I want to make some tomato juice with them. If I put the tomatoes in tonight, I think that they're gonna actually cook too much overnight, because I was just gonna throw them in the roaster oven and just leave them there all night. But I think if we do that, they're gonna cook too much, and then I'm gonna end up with the tomato sauce, which isn't a bad thing, because with the tomato sauce, I can really make a lot of stuff. But I'm really wanting to try the tomato juice. I'm actually wanting to try to do V8 juice because Steven loves Bloody Marys, and he also just likes tomato juice in general. So if I can make like a vegetable V8 juice, that would be really awesome, and I've never done it before. So I don't know. Maybe what I'll do is I will come back tomorrow with you guys and we will get the tomatoes in, and then that way they can kind of cook all day, and then at the end of the day we can get them canned up together. I'm thinking that's what we'll do, because I still have to kind of get supper ready tonight. And you know, when you get back from vacation, it's kind of like you just want to decompress. Today is a decompressing day. So I will see you guys back tomorrow, and we will get the tomatoes in the roaster oven. Hey guys, so it is the next day. It is the next morning. It's not really morning, it's 10 a.m. I am having a really, really slow start to the day. like I was saying last night, you know when you kind of get home from vacation, you just want to decompress? I'm kind of still in the decompress. That was a really, really long trip. So I'm having a little bit of a slow start to the day. So what I'm gonna get started is I've got my roaster pan over here. We're gonna get some tomatoes in here and we're gonna get them cooking throughout the day. And at the end of the day, we'll come back, run them through my food mill, and then we're gonna have tomato sauce that will get canned up tonight. The other thing that we're gonna get done is we're gonna get some of that okra put into the freezer. I'll show you how I do that. It's a really, really quick trick. And then we're gonna get some black beans shelled. And then I think that's about all we're going to try to get done today. We might find something else to do, but let's get started with getting those tomatoes in the roaster oven. I need to get them poured out first before we get them in the roaster oven. So we have about 30 pounds of tomatoes, maybe even possibly more, in our roaster oven. I have it turned on at 300, so we're just gonna leave it in there and just kind of keep it stirring throughout the day. At the end of the day, we'll come back, strain it, and then we'll get it canned up. I am just gonna leave it at plain tomato sauce because today is just kind of gonna be a really busy day, just trying to get all of the preserving done that we missed those couple of days while we were gone. I just wanna let you guys know, I am in the Every Bit Counts challenge. Before we left on vacation, I actually kind of doubled up on a lot of my things that I was doing because I knew I was going to be gone for those 6 days. So technically I'm still doing the 30-day challenge. I just doubled up on some of the days. So let's get our other little tiny projects started and finished with. The next little project I'm going to get done is getting some of my okra preserved. I have found that the best way for me to kind of stay on top of okra, because I don't get a huge harvest all at once, the plant really does produce just a couple a day. So I have put a bag of some finely ground cornmeal and some self-rising flour in the freezer. And what I do is when I bring my okra in, I just clean it off, like rinse it off, and then cut it into bite-sized pieces, and then add those pizzas to the gallon-sized bag. Once I get the pieces in here, I just give it a good shake, and then I just keep this bag in my freezer. Every time I need okra, I just go in and just get whatever I need to cook, and this is like the quickest, easiest way that I have found to preserve my okra. So the tomatoes are all cooked down now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our food mill out and we are gonna strain out all of the seeds and the cores and all the skins. Just put them aside. I'll probably end up giving them to the chickens. You can definitely, if you have a dehydrator, you can dehydrate them and then you can make them into a tomato powder, which I have done in the past, but I have a full quart-sized jar of tomato powder, so I don't need to do that this time. I'm just gonna give them to my chickens. They love them. So let's get this going through the food mill. It is a very lengthy procedure. It usually takes me an hour because I don't have a special thing. I have to hand do it, so it takes me a while. This is the food mill that I'm gonna be using. We actually inherited this from Steven's grandfather. So I just put it on top of this bowl. This seems to be the only bowl it actually fits on. And then I just have a measuring cup, and then just dump my tomatoes in. And then we just move it around like this. While I'm getting those tomatoes strained, I have my water bath canner and my pressure canner. I'm going to be water bathing these. They take about, let's see here, 40 minutes to water bath because we are going to be doing quart size jars. So I'm just using my water bath I'm just using my pressure canner as a water bath canner today. So 40 minutes for these. I have my jars getting hot in here also while we are getting these tomatoes strained. Once I started to run this stuff through the food mill, there was some really big tomato chunks. So I just took my immersion blender and just did a really quick blend of everything, and then it went through the food mill a lot easier for me. So this is what the tomato juice looked like after I ran it one time through the food mill. I wasn't pleased with it. I thought there was still too much pulp in it. I really just wanted a juice consistency. So what I did is I took the mixture and just ran it through a fine mesh like strainer here or sieve. And then I was much happier with the consistency that we were left with. What I did with all of this pulp is I just ended up putting it into this separate bowl here, and I ended up canning this. It was a really good, nice, thick tomato sauce. I'm going to get them jarred up. I am putting them into hot jars because this mixture was hot. I am leaving a 1/2 inch headspace in each jar, and I'm also adding, because this is a tomato product and we are water bath canning it, I am adding 2 tablespoons of a lemon juice. Hey guys, it has been a couple of days since I last filmed that. I have been so busy in the kitchen just trying to get caught up on just like my household stuff and just like trying to do this every bit counts challenge. It's been definitely keeping me busy. So I am in the middle of editing this video and I realized that I did not say goodbye to you guys. I just kind of left it with me taking stuff out of the canner. So like I said, I have been really busy in my kitchen doing all of these preserving from that big harvest that we got out of the garden that day. So those will be upcoming videos for you because it's some exciting stuff. I have some really, really exciting canning recipes that I'm going to experiment with my cucumbers. Can't wait to show you guys. But anyways, I thought I would hop on here and say a goodbye to you guys formally since I didn't do it at the end of the video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do greatly appreciate it. And I hope you have a great day or night whenever you're watching this. And I will see you on the next video. Bye guys.